Hey everybody, welcome back. Woohoo! Bitcoin all-time high. You guys got to be excited about that. And of course, we've been painting that on our chart. If you remember our forecast chart, man, it's just going to a T right now. It's so exciting. And yeah, Bitcoin all-time high over well over 80,000 got cracked yesterday, and now we're pushing even higher up to $88,000. So we said 90 to 100K by Christmas was the minimum, and we may very well exceed the 100K. At this rate. So very exciting. Remember, our midterm target for the bull market's 150 to 180 thousand US dollars, and that's definitely doable, with the upside being $250,000 maybe at the peak of the cycle. So exciting times ahead. And of course, what does that mean? Altcoin season is getting so close. So it really is going to be a lot of fun. We've got Lies beneath in the house there. How are you today? Very good. Good to see Lies in the house with the ultimate strategy of the channel. Of course, on Hex Token is Hex, Pulse Hex incentive for the win. And we've seen some really nice, strong movements there, particularly Hex are looking very good and nice and tasty. So looking really cool there. Big shout out to you, Lies Beneath, for posting that alpha. Now, we've got some big news, of course, coming out of TitanX after the massive pullback the last couple of days. Big whales are moving into Ethereum, chasing the majors. And of course, we also see some pushback today, with the buy and burns being accelerated every single minute, 1 ETH from hyper buying into TitanX now. And of course, the talk of Shogun coming on X28 Omni chain. There's lots of stuff happening in the TitanX space, so it's going to be fun to see that play out. But still, big stakers coming out here and there through the month of November. So it's going to be a fun ride in November for the TitanX ecosystem for sure. Opportunities abound for some people. We got Jenna in the house there. Hi, Jenna. Hope you're doing well. Everybody, hope you are having a good time. A big shout out to Sandy Beach out there too. We're thinking of you, of course, in your recovery. So I hope you recover soon as well. All right, let's get into it without further ado. Let's get into the results at the moment. So here we are. Dow Jones, the stock market Dow closes above 44,000 for the first time as rally mode continues after the Trump election victory. Now we've got, let's look at the Dow Jones. We're going to go max on the chart here. Let's go max, and we can see that we're at all-time high. Look at that chart, all-time high up there, 44,293. Isn't that amazing? Up 304 points today. This is, of course, covering Monday's results for the beginning of the week, Monday the 11th of November. We've got the S&P 500 is up 5.8 points at 6,000, so that's looking really good too. You can see that on the chart, and then the NASDAQ is up 16 points, pretty modest on the NASDAQ. Up to 19,303. So the stock market looking pretty good, particularly the Dow Jones, which, as you guys know, is the top industrials there, top 30 industrials in the Dow Jones. So looking pretty good there. Now we're looking for CPI data, consumer price data. Obviously, we had the 25% rate cut in the last meeting on the 7th of November. And now we're looking for what's the actual inflation doing. So that's going to be pretty important this week. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. That's kind of where we are there. Looking forward to that. Obviously, we've had a good day. Stock market and market moves up higher based on Trump's victory. And of course, some of his indicated appointments for some of his administration are amazing. It's the dream team, and the dream team is being set up. Very cool. So exciting times ahead for the market. So let's have a quick look at the presidential race. But before we do that, let's have a look at commodities and see how commodities are going. We've looked at the indexes. We've got West Texas at $68, Brent oil at $72. So that's nice and friendly, good for the pump. And we've got gold at $2,627, pretty flat. Silver at $30.76. So that's come down a little bit there on the silver. Those are the commodities. Let's jump over to the presidential race. Obviously, here is the victor is Donald Trump, 312 votes versus 226, and the looking pretty good there. So 50.4%. Of the popular vote as well. Was that first president to win that in Republicans since I think 2004, I think it is, something like that. So yeah, 50.4% popular vote won there. Almost 74.9 million votes versus Kamala Harris at 71.4 million at 48%. Now, what happened to all the missing votes? Something like 15 million plus votes that so-called Biden got at 81 million last time, which was just hilarious given what Obama had. So where did all those votes magically disappear to, right? You can decide what you think about that. But there we go. That is an outstanding result there. And of course, the blue wall there looking pretty busted up. We've got Arizona, Nevada, and of course Utah, and what else up here, and Idaho as well. So looking pretty good. We also saw massive swings in the blue states as well. Even California, I think, was something like 40%, over 40% going to, I think it was 39.2 exactly, around that ballpark, going to the Donald Trump. So even within blue states, and you got to remember these blue states, all blue states have no ID. So no ID, and yet those are the ones they won, right? The ones with no ID, ones with ID, they didn't win. So some pretty interesting alignment there. But in any case, Donald Trump managed to get a big swing there. So the people are spoken. They want back to common sense. They want to get rid of the wokeness. They want to get rid of all the terrible policies, and they want get on track again. So that's kind of it for the presidential race. The Senate race, of course, has been pretty interesting. We got 53 votes there, 53 seats in the Senate, and of course that's looking good. And now there is a big controversial who's going to run the Senate. Obviously, they need to get a pro-Trump, so that's very important there. There are obviously, we know that that having a pro-Trump Senate leader is important for getting quick early cabinet appointments. Otherwise, they could be stalled for up to 2 years. So that's been really important to get that done. There's obviously a big campaigning underway to get the right person in for that. And we got McConnell there, who's just a treacherous uni party guy. Got to get rid of him as well and get the Senate set up for this aggressive policy. And of course, you got to remember, Trump's for freedom, prosperity, and safety, and we need that in the world. So it's going to be pretty important already. So looking pretty good there. That's the Senate, and of course the House is the one up for grabs. Can he get all three parts of the government? That's pretty important. And at the moment, we do have 214 on the Republicans, 204 on the Democrats. So they need 218, remember, to get the dominance. And ideally, you want more than that. You want to get over 218. So let's see. Otherwise, you've got basically 218 kingmakers, right? You just need one of them to go with the Democrats, and you're in trouble. So getting more than 218 is very important. Obviously, 218 is to get control there. And it's looking very good. It's looking very good. So they're pretty close to it in terms of getting those seats. So fingers crossed that they can get those final seats there. And of course, looking pretty good, possibly in Arizona and even parts of California here, that they could win those seats. So let's see where that lands. But I think it's going to be a no-brainer. I think they'll probably end up with 219 to 222. Is probably where we end up with the Republicans in the House seats there. But there's a lot of tricks going on with the Democrats, right, in these areas. You got to remember they control quite a bit of the actual voting, so they can do little tricks there. So let's see how we land on that one. All right, so that is kind of the election at the moment, but a very extremely good results. The market have loved it. So hopefully we get that House secured and everything is good, and of course a good Senate leadership to allow quick cabinet appointments so we can get rid of the deep state and the rest of it, get rid of the teachers unions and all this sort of stuff, influence. All right, so we've got Bitcoin at the moment, $88,375, up at 10%, looking real good. Look at that, man. Are you happy with that? The Bitcoin dominance still dominant, so we're looking for altcoin season coming up. Not quite there yet, but we're at 57.5% on Bitcoin dominance. Ethereum, though, has moved up very strongly. We're up almost $1,000, I think, since it started rallying. 5% today at 3,339. In terms of Pulsechain and the Magic Carp Ride, we're still about $300 to $400 below that price. So we still have to chase that to get the Magic Carp Ride money in play. And even then, it needs to start getting into profit, a good profit, right? BNB up 2% at $640. XRP up 5% at 61 cents. And ADA, of course, has been doing very well, which Hodgkinson there, smoozing there with some of the new administration people. That's at 59.7 cents. So doing pretty well there. What else we got going? We got Solana up 5% at $219. Looking pretty good. We got Tron up 1.8% at 16.7 cents. Let's see, Litecoin. Let's have a quick look at Litecoin. Litecoin up 3% there at $78.80. So those are our leaders at the moment. Green. Not just green, but dark green. Looking real hot. Let's go to Bitcoin and look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Is that badass or what, man? That's badass. It's like the dream come true, right? Look at that candle, 88,894. And we said that this could turn around very quickly. And that's exactly what we've seen, right? So coming out of October, look at that October there. We came out pretty modestly, but pretty nicely. and then suddenly we have really rallied in the last week or so. We were down at 67,000. Now we're at 89,000. That's how quick things can turn around in the old crypto. It's pretty badass. So let's have a quick look. Since the 4th of November and this big green candle today, we're up 33% on Bitcoin in a week. 33% in a week. Just to, take that in. 33% in a week. That is insane. That's awesome. $22,170 of extra value there. That is absolutely outstanding, right? And we've just come out of the US election and, of course, that 25 interest rate cut. It is fantastic. So let's have a look at our projection that we had. Look at our projection. Woo! Look at that, man. That's our box. You guys know it. That's our 90K to 100K. Look at us. We're just about at the 90K already, and we still had some time to spare. I mean, this is by December. I've got this 900K, and look at it. We're already getting there, already front running that, which means, obviously you're going to have some profitability, profit taking, but man, that is pretty exciting. And of course, on the way, we're going to zigzag the way up. I've got here by March, April, heading up to 150, 180. And of course, at the top of the market, which may be in the third, fourth quarter of the year, it could be 240K, somewhere in that ballpark. That is the top of the market there. So looking pretty exciting. Now we're probably with Trump in now, we've got more chance of having a double top next year rather than just ending in March, April with 150, 180K. So let's see how it goes on. Now we know the deep state and other people like that are going to try and damage the economy, set up traps, all sorts of things. We could even have some interference with the vice president before the inauguration. There's lots of tricks that they may use to try and stop the people's will, the will of the people being put in place. And of course, they don't want us to have freedom. If you think they want you to have freedom, you're dealing with the wrong people. These people are full of narcissists. They only have their self-interest, and of course, power is what they're after. Power, and then they treat everybody else like little ants they can step on. So it's good news having Trump come in and saving the day. Good for the world, that's for sure. So that's kind of the markets at the moment, looking very, very awesome. There's the old Bitcoin. Let's have a quick look at Bitcoin returns. So Bitcoin returns at the moment is, look at that, 24.56%. In fact, I'm going to refresh because we're actually just climbing still. So let's have a quick little refresh of that. 24.56% is up in November now. Look, we had that last October, remember, 28.5%. So 24.5%. And last year, it was 8.8% for the month. So we're doing extremely well. But remember, we've got the Bitcoin ETFs, Ethereum ETFs. We've got the Trump train. We know that the SEC is going to be gutted. We're going to know that all the education system is going to get gutted in the Fed. The deep state's going to get gutted. Really, it's going to be amazing. Regulation's going to be lowered. Oil and gas is going to be ramped up. It's lots of things that are going to happen in terms of the might of America reclaiming its glory. So really excited to see that. 24.5% is where we are at the moment. And of course, we know Trump wants to end the wars too, already on the phone, beginning that process to end the wars. Pretty exciting. So that is it on the Bitcoin returns, looking very hot. Let's have a look at the Bitcoin halving progress. Now, we were waiting for the banana part, right? This banana part like we saw in 2020, like we saw here back in 2017. This is what we're waiting for, this banana part of the bull market. And looks like we've just started to get it, right? Just started to break that out. Early days breaking out here. Woohoo! Bring it on. So exciting to see this following the Bitcoin halving. Exciting times ahead. Now, Ethereum, of course, also making a massive rally. So let's get that. Finally, Ethereum getting some move on because it's been quite laggy behind Bitcoin. But it is up $1,000 in the last 6 days. 43% is the gain there in the old Ethereum there. How about that? Not bad returns. And we're still in a death cross, so we're going to be closing that out soon. You can see the 50-day is moving up to the 200-day blue line. And so we'll get back to a golden cross period there. Now, there obviously will be some profit taking on the way, but I suspect we're going to just zigzag it way up into the new year. All right, so that's kind of cool. Let's have a look at the memes at the moment. We've got a massive re-rate for Dodge. So up to 47.2 billion now, up 107% in the last 7 days, 20% in the last 24 hours, 110% now. Look, you can see it re-rating real time. So that's really astounding. SHIB is up at 16, up 64%. Pepe up 63% to 5.4 billion. Dog with Hat up 59% to $3 billion. Bonk up 50%. Everything is up. and Floki up 52%, Popcat up 40%, Brett on base chain up 66%. So everything is doing extremely well there. Nero up 80%. It just goes on and on and on. Now we're still picking the old dog. Now dog is a bit further down here. It is up 35% for the week. This is the number one meme coin on Bitcoin, but it does need to get the tier one exchanges. They are saying, Leonidas is saying they're getting very close, but they have not got there yet. So they're still stuck down here at $456 million, up 34% for the week. But once they get those tier ones, I'm sure that dog is going to start marching up for glory. And how close will it be able to get to Dodge up here and retake that? Seems natural to have another one meme coin on Bitcoin. We shall see, though. Dodge is still ruling the world. Obviously, Dodge, big supporter is Elon Musk. And, of course, Elon Musk there is going to be probably heading up the Department of Government Efficiency, a.k.a. Dodge. So we'll see. That's going to be a tough battle. It is going to be fun to see that play out. So let's have a look at the overall on crypto. See where the totals are. So we've got Bitcoin market cap. Crypto market cap is 2.97 trillion, up 8.3% today. It's a massive day for the crypto market. Still a very small market worldwide, so we've got a lot of upside there. The volume today, $269 billion, up 22%. A really good day there in the office. And greed has moved up into 79 on the Fear and Greed Index. So it's starting to head to the max. Exciting times. So that is it for the crypto. We're going to get into Pulsechain. Before we do that, though, let's catch up and any more comments in the chat. We got Lice says, just stop buying BTC, boss. Give the beers a chance, says Lice. That's funny. We had plenty of time for the beers, have we not? We've had plenty of time for the beers. Christian is in the house there, was looking for your channel. This is Rackham. Hey, Rackham. Hey, it's good to see Rackham Michelle in the house there. And great to have you back. Yeah, Rackham, we're streaming over 3 channels. We've got Hex Token Channel, Superman Crypto, and Pulsechain X. And so we're over 10,500 subscribers and having a good time. It's wonderful to have you back. We did mention that you were back the other day on a live stream and covered you there. And good to see you being so forthright back into the mix around Pulsechain and everything else you're doing. And, of course, we're great that you've had that time off as you so much needed. And good to see you back there, Rackham. So don't be a stranger. We always love having you in the house. And also, if you haven't joined our Discord, links in the video description. And, get in there, have a chat with us. We love it. So big shout out to see Rackham Michelle, a big VC on Pulsechain in the house. All right, we got human Hex trafficker in the house there. That's some name, by the way. That's some Hex trafficker there. You trafficking Hex around the place there? All right, let's get on to it. Let's get into Pulsechain. That's where we're up to. So let's go to gold for that. Let's bam. All right, so Pulsechain, a day of 549. 549. We're almost at 550 days. And we got Pulsechain at the moment at quadruple 0579, up at 2.45%. It is still at 58% of the mean sacrifice price. We've got Pulsex at the moment, quadruple 0335, at 1.3% there. And we've got the total, what have we got here? We've got the total buy and burn is at 1,066 billion. That's 5.31% of Pulsex is being bought up and burned at the moment. So that's ticking away. Still super, super good deals on Pulsechain. And these prices, come on, this is pretty outstanding. And this is pre-Magic Carpet Ride. And we're almost back to that break-even price, around about 3,700 on ETH for the Magic Carpet Ride. And, of course, that does include other sources of Magic Carpet Ride magic out there, or we call it pixie dust. I don't know. You decide. But that's going to play. We've got incentive token at the moment, $2.33, up 2.66%. The ratio to incentive for Pulsechain is 40,360 Pulse per one incentive token. I'm not sure whether the supply has been updated or often gets lagged, but it says 47.2 million at the moment, INC. Hex at the moment is looking super strong. And, of course, we've been calling this pretty well that it would probably lead us into the bull market on Pulsechain itself. We've got 1.85 cents, and this is looking really hot there, up 0.5% today. EHEX at 23/100th of a penny. Combined price of EHEX and PX is at 2.08 cents. So we're back over that 2 cent mark, but greater things are coming for Hex. And, of course, if you're holding a lot of Hex, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I know quite a few people in our Discord have been having a good time with Hex there. So looking good. Now, before we get into the charts, let's quickly go through some of the network parameters for Pulsechain. We've got massive spike right as we're doing the live stream at the moment of 1.6 million beats. So Gwei's really high. 3/10 of a penny for a Pulsechain swap at the moment. We've got Gwei on Ethereum, though, is 49 Gwei, go figure. And we're 1,800 times cheaper than that at the moment. So it's pretty easy to do when Gwei's at 49 on Ethereum because the markets are absolutely pumping as we're streaming live right now. Right, so validators, we've got 48,729 validators. Remember, Pulsechain is a full system stake fork of Ethereum at the 10th of May last year. And of course, we are full DeFi. So we don't, not like Uniswap, we don't, block Hex if it has a little legal court case or this or that. We are free, DeFi rules the roost over on Pulsechain. And the validators help do the work there. Now, looking at the heartbeat is the bridge, the amount of capital in there. And of course, we've got 116.3 million. So that's up pretty dramatic. I think the last time we streamed 2 days ago, I think it was, we were at, was it 2 days? Yeah, we were at about 108. So we're up about $8 million there. Now, obviously, Ethereum is playing a big role in that. We've got up to $30 million on there. DAI looks pretty similar. It moves around a little bit, but that's pretty similar. EHEX, of course, is up just very slightly. So really, it's Bitcoin that's up a lot there, 2.2 million. But the main one there will be ETH at the moment, up 30 million there at the moment. We've got 6.2 million in Coast contributing as well. Not to mention, of course, the native stable coins, which is PXDC. How much we've got of that? 1.17 million. HexDC there, 592,000. Coast is at 6.2 million, and USDL is at 9.1 million. Those are the native stable coins on Pulsechain. Hey, I want to get PUSD Algo. Jacob, if you're out there, let's get PUSD Algo out there because we know that's the stablecoin trilemma. That is the solution, man. That is the Terra Luna done right, as we say. PUSD Algo. Let's see it happen. Now, if you guys haven't participated in that, we're trying to get the funds up to launch all those pools that will be required. The link to that, if you want to get a 90% bonus plus potential X bonus in PUSD Algo, the link's in the video description. You'll have to be patient, though, until we get that launch. But, yeah, if you're out there, Jacob, let's get that going because that is the holy grail. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, so let's move on into the rest of Pulsechain markets. Have a quick look around. Now, obviously, we're going to have a quick look at Hex. Hex at the moment looking very, very hot. So let's have a look at that. Bam. So this is the daily on Hex. Look at that chart looking very, very good. We obviously had a golden cross back here with the 50-day over the 200-day. That's the yellow line over the orange line. And that has been playing out very, very nice. We've still got a room in the RSI. It is starting to enter up into the overbought period up near 70, but we've still got a bit more room. And that means that we could probably channel up a higher move here for Hex. So we're at 1.854 at the moment. But we will have to keep an eye on the RSI. But we could go to 85 on the RSI quite nicely. Let's have a look at the 4-hourly and see how that confirms that. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit hot, but it's still got plenty of times to dip up and down. So I still think we can certainly break a slightly higher high there on the old Hex. Now looking at the weekly, so look at the weekly for Hex there. We're weekly there looking pretty good. What do we got there? We've got short-term confirmation. So we've got this pink line over the purple line. That is the 13 over the 34 weekly average. So remember, this weekly now. That is bullish. And yeah, we've got also the 13 moving over the 50 weekly average. So looking pretty bullish there as well. So yeah, definitely 2.3 cents of PX. Definitely looking possible, maybe even 2.5 there for the next move. Just got to keep an eye on that RSI, but we can run it pretty hot in the bull market conditions that we're in at the moment. So you just never know. It could stay elevated for some time. All right, so that is kind of it for Hex. Hex looking pretty good. Let's jump over to the stable coins. The other thing that we've been seeing is PDAI has been on the move, and of course PDAI there. Remember when Pulsechain have its full system stake fork, means a lot of contracts got copied over. Some of them have to be animated with an oracle and things like that and other features. But yeah, we've got PDAI running up at the moment, 0.7 of a penny. Let's go to the weekly though on PDAI. Remember, this is a speculative stablecoin, and you can see that we've got to get back to the orange line there. The orange line is 1 penny. So we're coming back up. Took us a long time to get there. These are weekly candles, so it took us a long time to head back up. We came all the way down to less than 0.15 of a penny, even slightly lower there. And here we are at 0.7 of a penny. A nice little gain last 2 weeks. So this is looking pretty good on the old PDAI. Once it hits 1 cent, it's got the same thing as Hex, right? then it brings in the view, at 10 cents, right? It becomes in view. Doesn't mean it's going to hit it straight away, but might get to 2 or 3 cents for a lot of profit taking. But that is the play there at the moment. And is Richard Hart got anything in the background playing around those contracts? We should see with Maker and everything else. So question mark there. Let's jump over to the influencer coins. Now we got Bromance from Ben Armstrong. This is the one he launched on here about 6 months ago. It is up 13% at the moment. SolidX is up at $20. Now SolidX is one that we say you should watch out for because they've got the crash gain coming expected by December. And this is from the Dragon X founder Eric, who's obviously doing amazing stuff over on TitanX on Ethereum. That's up almost 8% at the moment. More token from Trayvon is at 20 cents. They're up 6% at the moment as well. Paul Pleb from Hexy Bastard up 5.8%. Ben, this is Ben Armstrong again, but this is the V1 copy. And of course, this is at 2,349, up 5%. No token from Randy Alaski is sitting at just above 1/1200th of a penny. And that's up 3% at the moment. And Access Alive at $31,000 is up 1.43% there. So that is kind of where we are. Scuba Steve, unfortunately, is down 12.5% today. But big shout out to all those influencers out there. All right, Hex derivatives. Let's take a look at those. The only one really standing out at the moment is the 3-year Maximus Hex staking pool. It's up 20%. The Decky's up 2% there as well. Now, I tell you what, if we see a big move in Hex, then all these derivatives are going to get re-rated dramatically, and the liquidity should start, thickening up there as well. But they are relatively smaller liquidity pools, as you can see. But yeah, it's going to be fun to see these all play out, particularly Hedron and Akosa also in the mix there from Alex McFitter. So exciting times. Let's jump over to Mafia. Well, we don't know when Mafia is going to launch. Let's be fair. December, hopefully December. I'm really hoping for December. But some people are even pushing it out further now. We shall see when these launch. But obviously they're at nice discounts at the moment for picking up over on Mafia. Just to wrap it up on Pulsechain, we're going to get into TitanX next. And we got $35 million in volume. So this is good. This is between the 25-45 million range, right in the middle. I'm pretty happy with that at the moment. And we've got 394,000 transactions the last 24 hours. Looking at some of the other leaders there, we've got this one, Jupiter. It's been around for a month. That's up 80%. Die Hard, which benefits from PDI, and that is up. It's at 25 cents. It's up 28% today. We've got Lady Gaga here, just out of nowhere 2 months ago. That is up 26%. UFO, obviously related to PDDC project. That is up 16%. We've got Token AI, A1A. That's been around for a year. That's up 15% there. P-Drip, if you like the ROI, hardcores, P-Drip there is up at $1.10. That's up 15%. Investor is up 14%. Teddy Bear, obviously Moon King and people like that love Teddy Bear. That is up 14%. And those are some of the leads there. We've got PDC Grey, of course, one of the best projects on the Pulsechain, is up 13% today. Let's have a quick look at that one because that has been absolute powerhouse. Look at this thing on the weekly. That's the weekly candle for PDC. What else can you say about it? I can't say too much. That's PDC UFO, by the way. But looking pretty amazing even against UFO. It is crushing it. So looking pretty good. Let's go to, we've got PDC, looking for Hex Pulse there. Let's go PDC Pulse. It's up 5% today. And this is the chart that's really been, people have been talking about this. It's been doing tremendous. Look at that. And let's do the ratio to Pulse, right? So at the moment, it's 0.002-300. Market cap is at 68 million with liquidity of 1.3. But let's have a look at the ratio to Pulse because as you guys know, this yellow line here was a 1-to-1. So this went at 1-to-1, but now it's almost 4-to-1. So 1 PDC equals 4 Pulse. So that's been a real winning trade if you're wanting to accumulate more Pulse, has PDGC been. So obviously you're earning in there too on the old website there. So doing some pretty cool stuff. So that is pretty much it for Pulsechain. Some nice little things happening there. Let us jump back out of here and go into the view. Now, Generan says PDC just hit $90,000. Wow, that's amazing. I might have to bring that back up. Let's do that one more time. Let me bring up the old Bitcoin. We'll have a quick look at that before we get into TitanX ecosystem because we've got quite a lot of news happening there. Obviously, a huge market pullback for that. It's still showing 88,500 mine, so I'm not sure where that's coming up. All right, let's bring up the TitanX page and have a look at that. Now, as obviously TitanX has been running hard up to this point. Now, obviously, people with profit taking going back into the majors. You see that a lot. So the big whales will be going back in the big whales will be going back into Ethereum, things like that, running that up, and some of them may enter back in, especially with some of the roadmap coming up. So we're going to have a look at that. Let's go. Let's add that back in. Here we go. Bam, bam. And there we go. So let's have a look at this. We've got, at the moment, JakeX, the meme coin, funnily enough, is the one that's performing today, up 67.4%. Janus, which is the Pulsechain one there from the dude, that is up 1.5% on the 24 hours. Everything else is down, 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 but it's actually starting to recover because we've got some big event happened about an hour ago with the old Hyper burn. So we're going to look at that. But Hydra is down 43.62%. Now remember, Hydra and Hyper are the two leverage plays, right? Hyper leverage play on TitanX and Hydra leverage play on DragonX. So that is down at the moment. Now we still have the inflation coming out for both of those. They have their different inflation profiles. Hydra at the moment is kind of like flat for 3 or 4 weeks, or probably another 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, before it gets up to the 88-day max mints, which is kind of a big mountain of supply coming out. So those are coming out. But we also have a number of projects, at least 3 projects coming out to build on Hyper. So that will be a supply sink for that. May cause some excitement. And we also have one coming at least for Hydra coming up, although there's probably a couple others as well. So that's going to be interesting to see the impact on that when they occur. And of course, we know that the earliest one for Hyper is going to be the 23rd of November. And of course, that's going to be one of the pillars, the second pillar actually, after Viper was launched for the Vault project. So that's kind of the play there. Yeah, everything is Pulsar at the moment. This is a Ethereum Pulsechain project that's down 7%. So you've got all the different projects. But let's have a look at TitanX. TitanX is the medium of exchange. And let's have a look at where this is going. I'm going to hide the roadmap there. And let's just look at this in full mode. And that is the price at the moment. So we had big wicks coming out. So after all this big run up, right? Big run up. And then, of course, you get whales coming out post the 369, right? 369 payout, which was like $6.5–7 million. Then we see some of the whales start selling out. And, of course, when you get the corresponding rally in ETH and stuff like that, this is the weekly charts, by the way, then you're going to get profit taking and moving into the majors. And some of them may come back in, some of them may not. We shall see. But anyway, today, this is today's candle. We had a massive wick down for big whale. We went all the way down to 6 zeros, 3,871 there. So that wiped out a lot of value, if you think about it, over the last wee while. So we take the bottom of that and we go all the way back. That took us back basically to around August, late August, end of August there. So August, September, October. So that's 2.5 months of value technically wiped out in TitanX based on US dollar prices in that period of time. So 74 days. But we've been pushed back up here and we're back at 6,500 at the moment. So we're getting back into the early October period. So that's jumping us forward. And that's good news. Now, what's driving that, of course? Well, it is the Hyper got pushed up. So let's go have a look at Hyper. We're going to go to Hyper here on the Titan Hub. Have a quick look at that. And we're going to go to the buy and burn stats. And we can see that the Hyper there was for a little period of time. It was pushed up to 1 ETH per 1 minute. That has now been pushed back. And so they must have kept it up for about an hour. And now it's been pushed back to 10 minutes. So we have basically 6 ETH an hour now rather than 1 ETH every minute. But that has helped to recover the TitanX price. So a very tactical move there by Hyper to use the ETH that's in there. It's got 2,065 ETH in there, so $7 million. It's able to do that, right? And then, of course, the Hyper burn is going to then go and burn Hyper as well. So that's good news for Hyper itself. Let's have a look at the actual transactions. Let's have a look here. So you can see the 1 ETH here. Let's have a look down. There's 1 ETH there. So we've got all these buys. In fact, we might be able to isolate those. So we had a couple there, you can see, from this particular wallet called a couple of those, and those are 1 ETH there. So you got to remember that it burns pretty much takes the TitanX there. And burns that. So that's pretty bullish. Yeah, so the buy TitanX there with the balance with ETH, and the ETH that gets used to start the Hyper miner goes in here, then buys TitanX off the market via the pool, and that TitanX is then used to buy and burn Hyper So that's the play there. And of course, you got that much in Hyper, $200,000 worth of buy and burn there for Hyper at the moment with TitanX as the input. Now that is still at 180 minutes on that one, so that's very slow compared to what the buy and burn is at the moment. So that is kind of cool. Let's have a look at. I'm going to get out of there for a moment. Let me get rid of that. Now the RSI on the daily is down, almost oversold anyway. So regardless of the hyper impact, we're at 32 on the RSI, and of course that's also heading towards oversold period. So we've still got a bit of room to move down potentially. But that is the play. Looking at the 4-hourly, 4-hourly there has been down very low on the RSI, and we managed to get a bounce back here at 6,500. So let's see where we bottom out. But that's the bottom. Is that enough? We shall see. All right, so let's go back into the Titan Watch and have a look at the rest of them. So some of the other ones, of course, we've been looking at have been Volts. Obviously, Volt has done very well up to recently. It has had, obviously, Lotus launch on top of it. We saw that, and we've also had the Viper launch on DragonX, which benefits Volt as well. And we have seen that those mechanisms working, right? We've had Nexus operate in the buy and burn, and let's have a quick look at that at the moment. It is looking pretty cool. Actually, this is in the wrong one. We're in the Volt here. So we've got the buy and burn still at $104,000 buy pressure on Volt. Looking at the stats there, we got 30.85% of Volt is burnt now. We got how much left? 726.7 million Volt left. Remember, we started off with a supply of 1,055 million, so we're down to 726 now, and we've got 16.25 million Volt in the Volt balance, and this is what we're looking at, right? So with Viper launching, obviously Lotus, we see this get filled up, and so far Viper's doing very well doing that. So Viper is been increasing the Volt balance, which means generally going to increase the TitanX attracted and the buy and burn. So it's going to help accelerate that Volt buy and burn. So that's kind of ticking away there. But you can see in the chart on the hourly, we had some dramatic pullbacks all the way down to 1/1500th of a penny, but we're back at a quarter, 2.5 cents at the moment. We're back up there at the moment. We got as low as 1.5 pennies, and we're now a quarter of 2.5 cents. So. And heading back up, hopefully. So let's see where we go there. Let's go to the 4-hourly. Have a look at the RSI on that. That is was almost oversold as well. The daily starting to come back up there. So let me just auto log that. Bam. That is the daily chart there on a Volt there. So counterintuitive. You have all these projects launch, and then we get the sell-off. But that's because I guess we had a big run-up, and we get the same impact as everywhere else in the chart. TitanX goes down with some of the big whales they're selling into the majors, etc. And has to settle out, has to bottom out. What else there? DragonX, of course. Let's have a look at that. Actually, let's have a quick look at the Volt ratio. We're at 38,500 TitanX to one Volt at the moment. So that's holding up okay. It's holding up okay. Let's go to DragonX and have a look at that one. That's the other one of the fixed majors. And they also got routed there with the old TitanX price, spiking all these charts down. And yeah, we've got, so you got two parts. You got the price impact of TitanX, and then you got the price impact, obviously, of the ratio to TitanX. So those are the two things we're looking at. So we're at 508,300 on DragonX. Looking at the TitanX ratio, we're at a 12.773 there. We're actually holding up very well. We're up near 17 just a couple of days ago, and here we've been pushed all the way down to 11.4. So you're going to have to ride through the volatility in the old TitanX ecosystem at the moment. But that is where we are, and of course, good opportunity to come in with some fresh ETH capital and pick up some of these pullbacks in terms of that. So kind of cool. Holding up though, okay, at this 12.73, and that TitanX buyback with Hyper doing its job. What's the other ones we're going to look at? Obviously, Morpheus from Rags to Riches has been doing pretty well. Now, the last mint day was finished earlier today, so Morpheus has really done its course now. So yeah, it's got the old Matrix theme. So that has been ticking away, and people have minted that out. And so yeah, that is pretty much done as far as I know. So we've got the buy and burn summary there. It ended up with one TitanX equals 0.48 Morpheus, so that's pretty much done. This mint cycle progress is 100% complete. Total Morpheus minted over 2 trillion. Morpheus burned so far 76 billion. Total TitanX deposited 2.2 trillion So I think that's a pretty good project's done pretty well. And of course, there's lots to come in terms of development there from the Morpheus team as well. And I was there. I'm not sure if we've seen stuff about the winners of the tickets, but that's pretty exciting stuff there. Well, they got in the buy and burn 1.42 trillion TitanX. Next buy and burn is 2.37 billion TitanX there, about $1,500. And that's ticking away, what's that, about every 30 minutes. It's got the buy and burn period. So we're looking forward to that. We're also looking forward to the more projects that launch on Morpheus from rags to riches. That's kind of the play there. And the price is holding up reasonably. Let's go have a look at the daily. That is the price chart there. So actually, it's not too bad. I mean, it looks a bit messy, but it's actually not too bad compared to some charts. So 60 is 9,500 there at the moment. Looking at the ratio of the DragonX, how that's been going, it's actually improved. So 0.11. So one Morpheus will get you over 1100th of one DragonX at the moment. So it's actually strengthened. Isn't that pretty cool? So not too bad there. Element 280, of course, also finished its mint, right? Its big mint phase was at 28 days. But that chart there, man, with the TitanX going down, has been pretty brutal. We got down to a low of 6 zeros, 3,111. Looking at the TitanX ratio, let's see how that's going. That has been, unlike Morpheus, which has gone up against a DragonX, this has gone down versus TitanX on the old element there at 0.57. And of course, the transaction fee has gone down to about 4%, isn't it? So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that plays. However, the buy and burn across all the different TitanX protocols is still looking very strong there. Let's have a look at the user vault payout amount, what people are getting. Now, this has been extremely lucrative. Now, this has completely dropped off since the amounts. They paid out $436,000 at current prices in element token, but we're at $3,600 at the moment with 5 days to go. So 5.5 days to go. So this has dropped off dramatically since the launch phase finished. So that's interesting. But the fees will continue to accumulate in the reflection tokens on V2. And they're also going to get their own pillar at some stage. Now, there's plenty of TitanX still in all the buy and burns. So you can see there's still plenty in the mix. It looks like none of them are turned on at the moment. So that may be a coordinated thing, who knows? But there's still plenty of TitanX sitting in those different protocols ready to buy and burn and out push the prices up. So they might, I don't know. Are we getting some magical coordination here amongst our founders? You guys asked the question, I don't know. We got stats here. We've got stats. Let's have a look at those and see how we're getting on. So my understanding was that the fees now would be going directed generally to 280 and the buy and burn 280. The other thing is, of course, this is going to be like Watts is on Pulsechain with Alex Manfreda. We're going to have NFTs here. Once they get destroyed, they're gone forever. I mean, there's 10,261 at the moment. So once these goes, they go. And of course, there's going to be ebbs and flows, whether it goes up or down. Price goes up, people are going to end the NFT and sell out. Prices go down. People are going to end, they get scared, they burn their NFT and they get out. And so either way, the NFTs are likely to go down as over time. And of course, all those fees accumulate, as long as there's trading going on, accumulate and transfers to the holders there. So it's going to be interesting to see this protocol play out as well. All right, so that's kind of it at the moment. Of course, that is element 280. That is pretty cool. So those are some of the highlights there. I'm not going to go through everything. We are expecting Ouroboros. This is the next big thing other than Shogun, which has been on live stream at the moment. We are expecting this to go live this week. This is a big deal. It's one of the 3 big DeFis. And of course, that's going to potentially be a big supply sink for a lot of the protocol tokens. It's multiple collateral. And we're looking for USDX, a stable coin to launch. So this is going to be fun to see. So this is big news for TitanX. Big supply sink, potentially adding extra demand, buy pressure as well, as people want to buy more of the TitanX stuff with their collateral. We shall see. Obviously, people can also earn a yield on that. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see that. And of course, we got X28 and Shogun coming too. So lots of cool things happening with that. Before we move out of that, though, I did want to talk about Viper quickly. Let's go to Viper. There's Viper on here. Oh, I haven't got Viper on the list here, actually, funny enough. My bad. I must have, I got 2 different lists, and that one there doesn't have Viper on it. Viper's just launched recently. So Viper, let's go have a look at that website. And the yield, look at the ROI at 529%, so that's pretty attractive. We've had 442 billion DragonX going, so this has actually proven pretty successful so far. and I think we had about 150 billion yesterday. So that's pretty good. We're on day 4, which means that you guys know we've got Nexus buy and burn technology in here. This is the first time we've seen it. Currently got 25 billion DragonX in at the moment, and the ROI is still 529%. So this is actually doing pretty well. I'm pretty impressed with this. Let's go to the burn here. Now remember, there's only 8 days in the launch phase. Today may very well be the best day to go in, just based on Volt's 10-day auction. Today may be the very best day. We'll see. Sometimes history doesn't always repeat or rhyme, but let's see how that goes. We got the buy and burn at the moment, though. It has got $2.1 million of DragonX in it. It's a $472,000 buy pressure on Viper today at the moment with the DragonX. And it's running pretty hot every 5 minutes. So that's going to be pretty interesting. And we've got, obviously, that's the standard. So that's similar to how we got Volt running. But we've also got the second buy and burn, this new technology, the Nexus. And we can actually see it starting to work, which is the first time we've seen it. So we had Volt come in first, right? So we got $345,000 of Volt. Obviously, the prices have been moving around with the pullback. We got 13.7 million Volt in there. We've got Viper has started to fill up. We got $148,000 in there with 11 million Viper, and then we got DragonX has just started filling up today. Remember, it takes 4 days to ramp up. So by the time we finish in 14 hours and 18 minutes, we'll have finished the first cycle of Nexus on Viper. Isn't that cool? And we're expecting to see another pillar like Viper launch on the 23rd for Hyper, which is really cool, given Hyper is a leverage play on TitanX, and of course more volume coming out. That's going to be a nice, cool supply sync and buy and burn dynamics on there. And that's also all these pillars, of course, benefit Volt and the perpetual options balance. So yeah, it's fun to see this all play out. And you got $41,500 of DragonX in there at the moment, for almost 5 billion there. So not bad. And we've got 14 hours and 80 minutes to go till the next burn period. And then we start again, right? And recycles around. As long as the inputs are always going in every day, then we should see these balances get bigger and bigger and bigger with buy pressure. So yeah, pretty excited to see all this. And if you combine those two buy pressures there for Viper, and of course the ones in here for Viper, you just got extra buy pressure. So keep an eye out on these numbers. The more they go up, the bigger it gets, and then we're going to see how that plays out on the charts over time. Obviously, we've had some big whales at play lately, and we've still got some coming out in November at different days during the month before we get all those big short-term stakers out after the 369 out. So that's kind of the play there at the moment. Let's jump away to some of the big news. Obviously, X28 also launched. This is Omni-chain for the TitanX ecosystem. There's a lot of things to happen here, and it is down 26% at the moment. It is pretty much 1-to-1 for the most part with TitanX. Remember, 50% of this TitanX that goes in there gets burned, so that's a real supply sink there. So that is ticking away. Let's go have a look at the website for this. I do really like it, electric blue. Yeah, so you can put your TitanX and then get X28. Let's have a look at the buy and burn stats there. So that is it. At X28 there, it's got 389 billion TitanX at the moment, $250,000. And the buy and burn's about $500, and it's getting called every 15 minutes at the moment. We've got the stats. So a quick look at that. We got 454 billion X28 liquid, so about almost $300,000 worth. BOX28 protocols. This is the beginning, right? This is omni-chain, so it's not just Ethereum. It's about going omni-chain, and there's multiple chains there with the one token, right? TitanX on the Ethereum chain really is a clever way of doing it, getting some scarcity. We've got 317 billion X28 in there, and this is essentially the LP pool, right? So this is essentially the LP pool on V3. We've already had 35 billion X28 burned, $23,000. LP fees also a little bit of that burned as well, sitting at 56% liquid. So this is something you're going to watch. This is just early days, right? So we obviously got the bridge. Now the bridge here has all the chains that are currently supported. So we've got Base Chain, Arbitrum, Optimism, BNB Smart Chain, Polygon, and Blast. We've got Avalanche, so SK Sync, and we've got Phantom there. So most of these, pretty much all the big volume chains, right? That's what you want to have successful. You need good volume chains at the moment, and I'm sure there'll be a few more added in time, both EVM and non-EVM chains. So kind of cool. that is the play. These are the chains in play at the moment. So looking pretty good. Now, we've had some little intel from Jake Sharp. Now, if you're in Strategy Club, I would have posted this in the Strategy Club earlier today. So if you want to join up to that, that's $35 a month. Very good value to get a lot of intel flow. As we find stuff, you will get it too. And that's in Strategy Club in our Discord, a private club there. We got Shogun going into audit tomorrow. Contracts being tested. UI being tested. White paper released very soon. So we're excited about all that. Yeah, very, very bullish here. In fact, I'm going to read out some of these lists that he posted out yesterday. Listed some of the reasons multi-billion-dollar ecosystems are frightened of the name TitanX in our community. Top 10 on Ethereum for months on end, often top 5, which has been fantastic. 22 protocols built on top. Multiple build on TitanX protocols have held top 10 in Ethereum for the days and weeks ahead. Now, this build on TitanX, as you guys know, we've got tons of projects coming. These are the upcoming projects for build on TitanX. Look at them all. They're still coming up ahead of us, and there's many more others that are not on this list. So there's 21 at the moment, and we've got many more coming. But that's just on the build on TitanX. But we know we're going to be moving to build on X28 omni-chain, so multiple chains. And we've got the list of those chains, as we just talked about, are going to have projects on all these chains. So it's going to be very, very exciting just using that TitanX too, which converts into X28. So exciting means there. We got, obviously, with the 50% burn, we got this arbitrage play going on. But when we get more protocols, it really is going to hum up there. We're going to see a lot of TitanX get into X28. So we've got 412% against Ethereum while the whole market was crashing. 422, obviously, there's a different timestamp. 422% in US dollars. Full fair launch there, the best DeFi farms in existence. Now, Titan Farms is absolutely spectacular, and of course is the new way of doing farms, really. So we're getting the latest innovation in the ecosystem. Hyperinflation tokenomics after fair distribution stage. Obviously, we've got a little bit of inflation still to come out, but not much. And of course, we've got the stakes to come out. That's probably the biggest thing, is actually the stakers after the 369, those short stakers. Going omni-chain via X28, all feeding back to the core. And this is the real key takeout this is the pivot. This is really the thing you should be taking note of at the moment. The best builders of DeFi coming to ecosystem, 1 to 2 streams a day, 20 content creators, and over 80,000 users on TitanX itself. The biggest burners haven't even kickstarted, launched yet. So we've got all these contracts, buy and burn contracts, and they are taking over TitanX as well. If you go to TitanX smart contract, you can see that. The buy and burns are kicking in there. $35 million plus sitting in buy and burns, with Ethereum, of course, going up at a big, strong pace. This is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, this buy and burn pressure. So don't sleep on that either. We've got multiple 10, 30, 100x protocols have launched on top of TitanX. 1 to 2% of Ethereum volume runs through our whole ecosystem. So really, TitanX is looking to take over Ethereum and then take over omni-chain, go omni-chain with the TitanX. So very, very clever. We've never seen this in crypto. I guess the weak form of this has been Zen, but this is really the way it's done. So Zen was very inefficient. $150 million or so wasted to miners, whereas this here is actually all the money goes back in through the buy and burns and into the system. So this is the way crypto should be done. We have so much building and innovation going on that we have our own community built CoinMarketCap TitanX hub. Capitalism and meritocracy are the first ethos. A DEX aggregator that buys and burns TitanX incoming. So that's really, really deep. We see that on TitanX hub, so that's cool. Multi-collateral ecosystem lending incoming and Shogun incoming. And that's where we're going to talk to today. We're going to talk about that now. So Shogun is coming in. We're going to love it. So it's going to be pretty cool. Let's get into it. So we've got Shogun going to audit tomorrow. This is a big deal. And then we obviously have some tokenomics around that. Let's quickly get to that. You'll need liquid X28 to enter Shogun. So that's going to drive TitanX into X28, which is the omni-chain token. You can transform your TitanX in one-to-one instantly, of course, with the transform page. And we've just looked at that as well. X28 is a one-to-one omni-chain TitanX. X28 is the input token for Shogun Kingdom. Shogun is my magnus opus. In other words, this is this is the end game for this, and true believers only. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see that. And of course, he's just been doing a stream in the last hour here, Hyperinflation Shogun, showcasing that with some of the awesome developers like Dude, Mike Dean, and others there. So this is really, really exciting where this is all heading. And of course, we saw some excitement there with the buy and burns going on. Fun times ahead. Now, let's get into some of these other comments here. We've got a few other people in the chat. Let's go to, we've got HH in the house actually with the super sticker. Big shout out. Thanks for that. Thank you, Superman Crypto, for the consistent updates. Go Pulse, Hex, Hedron, Icosa, absolutely, and a big shout out there. Thank you so much. Yeah, and everyone's been patient, right? Not only we've been consistent, but everyone's been patient there, waiting for the bull market to happen. And here we are. We're here. It's getting exciting. Can't wait for RH to win his SEC case. Absolutely. Well, this is the other positive thing about Trump winning. That's the insurance policy, changing the SEC, and of course, probably drop a lot of frivolous cases like the poorly written H1R1. But after that court case hearing on the 31st, man, it looked like a 75% chance of complete victory there. We shall see what the judge comes out with before that. But in any case, maybe if it still proceeds, any part of it proceeds after say January, we might see maybe March, April, if we get an SEC new replacement, that those cases get dropped anyway. So it's going to be a very different world under Trump. All right there. I was in the other channel chat room. That's all right, HH. Dave Down says it's going to get exciting. It certainly is. And man, it has already kicked off, right? You got Bitcoin heading to 90K. That is bullish. All right, so that is pretty exciting. Lots of things happening here. And of course, build on TitanX. Build on TitanX is going to be built on X28, and that's launching very soon. So things are really starting to ramp up there. As far as I know, Shogun also going to take in shares like TitanX shares. So that's going to reduce that as well. So things are really going to ramp up there for the old X28. So the transform is where you put TitanX into X28. That's omni-chain. We're going to look forward to this absolutely ramping up with these numbers. These are the kind of the starting numbers here. Watch these numbers in the days and weeks ahead. It's going to be fun. And not only that, we've still got all these projects coming to TitanX on Ethereum. So the system is just starting to ramp up there. It's going to be exciting to see it play out. Let's actually quickly go to the farms, actually. I just wanted to point out the Titan Tink farm before we wrap up the show today. We got Titan Farms, and let's have a look. This is really the best farm out there now. Really is done the way. This is the way farms should be done. And we got $31.5 million. Man, I think we got up to what 45 million when the TitanX was peaking out there. We're on day 35. With the Tink price has moved down to 86 cents. Now, I had fair value at about 65 cents or something a little while back. Obviously, that moves around. You got to recalibrate it all the time. But it's really probably moved just above fair value here, maybe by about 20 cents or so. We'll see. But we got the total fees there have definitely gone up. So when I first started calculating, it was like 5%. Now it's like 15% or something of the total supply. So that's definitely improved. We got 2.5 million Tink tokens in existence. Now imagine getting a project like a Viper launching, Pillar launching, and you got supply sinks for Tink. And it's game on, right? You got fees coming in. You got burning going on, and then you've got second layer protocols. Really quickly, this gets exciting where these prices go, right? So DragonX Hydra is still the best performer at the moment, 264%. Obviously, you get a lot of impermanent, you get shifts, and I wouldn't say permanent loss depending on the time frame, arguably. And of course, you've got that, but the yield is still very, very attractive. Hyper TitanX 193%, Rapti TitanX 204% at the moment. So still looking pretty damn good with the yields. RRX TitanX 171%, very, very nice indeed. Now, the one thing that I haven't seen on here is a DragonX Vault. We don't have DragonX Vault as far as I remember. DragonX Vault or that would be, or DragonX Viper. That would be pretty cool to see those peers, because they're pretty much doing $1 million, right? They're doing $1 million on volume, pretty sure. So those are opportunities there to add to the farms, and that would bring in more fees, right? More fees, and of course a bigger buy and burn. So we've got all these buy and burn mechanisms at the moment. We could add even more, right? And that just accelerates the implied price there for TitanX, or the fair value price, as some might want us to call it. So exciting times ahead. Really is looking very, very cool here. And what a great place to wrap up this, these values at the moment. Andre says a bullish EHEX, a 10x, and a blink easy. Yeah. Hey, look, Hexes, we covered that earlier. Hex is looking hot in my view, looking very good indeed. All right, that's pretty much it. 1 hour, almost 1 hour. We've done 59 minutes. Hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream. A big welcome to everybody. Big shout out to HH there for the super sticker. We appreciate that, and of course your long-term support. Big shout out to Rack and Michelle. Great to see the number one sacrificer there for Pulsechain, Pulsex in the house, and of course back on stream, and hopefully refresh for this bull run coming up there. and of course recently engaged. I think recently engaged or something as well. So a big shout out to Rackham there. And of course, a big shout out to everybody else in the chat. Lies Beneath, always bringing the alpha. Genuine as well. Big shout out to you. Human Hex Trafficker, and some funny comments in there. And of course, Dave Down Under enjoying the bull run. Let's go, including Andre as well and HH. So big shout out to everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in Discord. Links in the video description. Catch you in a couple of days' time. I've got a lot of stuff going on with things in my personal life at the moment that I've got to address. So I'm just doing every sort of second, third day at the moment. So I will see you probably in 2 days' time, probably Thursday, which will be Wednesday US time. So hopefully see you guys there. All right, take care. See you in Discord. Bye for now and enjoy the bull market. It is here. You have waited patiently.